Hey everybody, Ted Rubin here at Brand Innovators in Dallas at SMU, and I'm here with one of my oldest and best buddies from the marketing space, John Starkweather from AT&T. And today he was on stage, he was talking about a recent campaign. We don't need to get into the specifics of that right now, but he made a comment that is near and dear to my heart and something I've written about a lot, about allowing creators to create. So many companies hire, whether they call them influencers or bloggers or creators, and then they micromanage them and try to tell them how best to tell their story. Let creators, no matter the size of their audience, tell the story the way they know how to engage and empower their audience. And I'd love to hear a little bit of that from John.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oftentimes people in positions at brands, and they may have these big fancy titles and have worked at all these big places, think they know what their brand means to their customers. Right. And while I may be more experienced about what AT&T executives want to say, you as an influencer, as an example, and your audience, you know your audience best.
Right.
And they follow you, and you have this megaphone that they listen to and interact with because you've created this relationship with them. By me coming in and saying, hey, Ted, do it this way, do it this way, do it that way, people go, whoa, wait a second, like, that's not Ted.
Right. First of all, you make me inauthentic, number one. And number two is you don't know how to speak to my audience. And if I am a consumer of your product, I know how I feel about it, what I want to express. And I think you need to also take it one step further, and I know I heard you mention this, is that you need to talk to your consumers. I mean, I have sat in on so many marketing meetings where I hear people talking for their customers. And the best part is when you get a 45-year-old guy talking about what teenage girls like or what women in their 20s like, and I'll look at them and say, wait a second, why don't we have any of them in the room here? When we were at Collective Bias, John Andrews and I, we always insisted on the creators and influencers we were using, the bloggers we were using, to have someone from the demographic we were looking to reach in the room when we were coming up with these ideas for the content that we wanted them to produce.
Yeah. However you need to do it, you've got to have the customer in the room. And that may be having someone who is from that demographic, who maybe is in an entirely different department, who's coming in and saying,
absolutely, right,
that doesn't work, or yeah, that works. Or literally, some of the best work I've ever done in my career is actually bringing groups of people that today we would call influencers into the meetings and reviewing plans and initiatives with us, giving feedback, us listening, challenging each other, and then going to market with something that they've contributed to, that they're going to advocate for, because their communities, their customers that they have the relationship with can see their needs built into it. It's a win-win.
And it goes back to a conversation we had at a couple of South by Southwest Brand Innovators ago, because when you brought up employees, it made me think of that, is allowing your people to actually brainstorm. Because how many times do you bring that person into a meeting and she already knows what you want her to say, or she's already kind of been influenced by what the expectation is, instead of giving that person the freedom to really speak their mind, not only as an employee, but as a consumer and as a part of that market that you're looking to match with.
Yeah, the bigger and more fixed your corporate hierarchy is, or whatever your hierarchy is, the more difficult it is to honestly capture feedback.
Right.
One, for someone to feel safe to give the feedback, and then for those in power and authority not to discount it. And so I highly advise in those situations, if you're in a structure that is hierarchical, and most are, right, that you bring in somebody who's experienced from the outside just to moderate and make sure that you're really listening, to make sure that it's safe for that person. Maybe it is the junior staffer who's got an idea that refutes what the CEO really feels. And it's almost impossible to do it in those big structures. You've got to recognize that what you want is a winning product, service, initiative for your customers, and that it's really difficult from your ivory tower to nail it.
Absolutely. Now, I want to segue into something else. Now, anybody who knows you or follows you knows what you're passionate about in life, what you've been running around doing, and how happy it makes you. What I want to hear about is, I see a light in you right now from a corporate and business and business marketing perspective, and I'd like to know where that's come from.
Yeah. There is a challenge at our company in marketing right now to really break through with our customers. So the shackles of this is the way that we used to do it, and here are all the rules that need to be included, have kind of been set on the table. They're not thrown away. There's a recognition of what certain guidelines are, but it's all about connecting with our customer. And when your ultimate goal is connecting with your customer, it gives you the chance to really think big.
So they're giving you the freedom now to not be stuck in that's not the way we do it here kind of mentality. That can happen even at a great marketing company like AT&T, where it comes from the top down, and now all of a sudden you're getting that freedom. I remember one of the earlier campaigns from AT&T in that respect that I loved, that I think was kind of the beginning of this, was It Can Wait.
Yeah.
I still have the It Can Wait stickers because I took a bunch of them at the time, so that I could have them for future cars, because I'm a leasing guy, so every 3 years my car goes, and whenever I get a new one, I put those back on the bumper of my car.
That's amazing. That's an example of an initiative that was started at AT&T and that became industry-wide, across industries.
Right.
And it's actually something that's made such a significant impact.
And what I also love about it, sorry to interrupt, I just want to jump in, is that it was a great example of a campaign that was made to be a campaign, meaning a start and a finish. And when they and so many companies do this, and I've seen it in big mistakes made by companies where they end something that's just taken on cultural significance and it could go on forever. And AT&T had the foresight to open up and let that campaign become part of their brand.
Yeah, there's a lot of love for that campaign, but it had run its course, and it's also become part of culture.
Yes.
I've had my kids at times, they were young and saying, even at a stoplight, saying, "Dad, it can wait."
Right.
And so it's run its course, and we moved on and are continuing to do other things.
Well, I just have to say, I love seeing you with the smile and the passion coming out of your pores right now. So thank you for sharing that with us.
I'm having an absolute great time.
I love it, man.
Thanks.